Let's talk about the lights for a second. I got these from Home Depot and they were pretty cheap, about $15 per piece. And they also appear to be energy efficient as well. Because my ceilings are so low, I needed something thin, and these are about 1.7 inches. They got two strips of LEDs and they can be chained together into 5 rows. And they don't get as hot, about 48 Celsius. So with the lights out of the way, the staging was next. First, the cork was laid down and glued, and then it was painted brown so that there is some kind of a ground level and the tracks don't just sit on the cork and look weird. And then with the lights, I mean, that really gives it a impressive look. There are no valances yet, but even with just the lights, it looks pretty cool. I laid the track down just to see how many key tracks I can put in there into staging, and just the way they would be spaced and whatnot. So there's altogether 12. One is through track, and then the 11 are storage or staging for both directions. It's a through staging, so the trains actually restage themselves when they come back into the staging. And you can see with the car, it's not so bad. I mean, there are some shadows here and there. Really, you won't be operating there. You know, the trains will just come out of there on their own, or will be moved by the operators. I haven't really decided whether the staging will be operational one where there will be a mole working in the staging, switching cars and whatnot. I don't know if there is a possibility for something like that. I think it would require um, a lead track somewhere as well, and I don't think I've planned for those, but we'll see. For now, I mean, it's just the place where trains will come from the east or the west, because this is a true north railroad. But enough admiring the lightbox effect of the lights. Next was fitting the turnouts in the staging. I opted to use these remote Atlas ones because they had built-in motors and it was much easier to handle. Of course, there's a jungle of wires there, but that got sorted out through the holes and eventually got connected to the controls. And now you can see I'm laying the tracks. First one on the outside. Then you can see in the middle of the screen there are white dots, there are markers for the track centers. So a lot of it is just rinse and repeat. Once you put the one down, then just get the pace and start going. And in no time you're halfway done. I suppose it's satisfying seeing the work come out fast, but you're not ready to run trains yet. And so a couple of days later you're finished and you're admiring your workmanship. I think it looks good. It's still empty. There are no electrical connections yet. There are wires hanging out from the turnouts. Feeders need to be added, but the progress is being made and everything looks nice and smooth and it flows, and I guess you can call it a success. So this was about a week of work from putting the cork down to track finished. I've used this 3M adhesive tape to connect the track to the roadbed or the cork, but I don't think it works well for N scale. I had to go back and actually put Eileen's tacky glue every 6 inches or so to keep the track down, because the surface connection between the tape and the track is not large, and so it keeps lifting up. So this was wrapped up a month later and all the feeders were dropped on every flex track piece. Now everything was ready for the main control panel in the command station. And here you can see the close-ups of the feeders on the track. I've used the red and green wire. It was just my preference. Some people use black and white, but black and white to me is more of a DC voltage signal than some digital alternating current or pulse or whatever. So, but before continuing with the layout, I had another side project where I've built a programming track, a mobile programming track for both HO and N scale, and it was based on Arduino, DCC++, and here you can see some of the construction photos. And Ultimately, I want to add a screen to this so that it's a standalone unit and you don't need to connect to the computer to do any programming. Right now, you actually have to connect to JMRI and use the programming track that way. While we're on the subject of electronics, a month later I built a ESP32 based LCC Command Station. This is a revision 1 board. The project's available on GitHub, and since this board there's been a number of revisions, it's been miniaturized, it's been improved, and it's still an ongoing project. But in essence, anyone can get their hands on the schematics and the PCB and build one of these for themselves and have a full DCC and LCC command station right now on their layout, if they please so. But we'll talk about LCC more in the future videos. That's everything for this video. Thanks for watching and more to come.